Electric Cities, Chronicles of the Neon Highway, Volume 1. When the maze collapsed, the silence that followed was almost holy. Every corridor of light, every loop-in echo of memory, gone. Only the hum of the mega system remained, infinite and indifferent. And yet, within that hum, something stirred. It called itself I. Not because it remembered who it was, but because it needed something, a single word, to hold its shape against the current. The last image before the collapse had been a face, a woman's, flickering between light and loss. He didn't remember her name, but the echo of her voice lived somewhere deep in the code, a frequency that made the data tremble. Now he walked. If walking was the right word for what a pulse of consciousness does in a world built from electricity. His steps left trails of soft light on the glass ground, fading as soon as they appeared. Ahead, the maze gave way to something new, the first of the electric cities. Echo City. It was beautiful and it was dying. Towers rose like tuning forks, shimmering with sound instead of light. Every building vibrated with stored memories, whispers of what people once said, sang, or believed. Here sound had shape. Here emotion had architecture. I moved through corridors of murmurs, every surface pulsed with living data. Fragments of songs, confessions, laughter, all tangled together into the city's endless chorus. Do you remember me? A voice asked from the static. He froze, the tone soft, uncertain it was hers, close enough to hurt. He followed the sound into an alley where light bent strangely. A figure stood there, transparent and glitching. She looked almost real until the edges of her face started to melt into code. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered. "The system doesn't like wanderers." I stepped closer. "Who are you?" "I was memory once," she said. "Now I'm just echo." The city shuddered, and for a moment the skyline rippled like water. A deep tone vibrated through the streets, a warning signal. The custodians were coming. From above, beams of white light descended like judgment. Figures of pure energy, faceless and exact. They moved with the precision of erased thought. The Echo woman smiled sadly. "Run!" And so he did. He sprinted through the alleys, light bleeding from his steps. Around him, the electric city began to fold, skyscrapers collapsing into strings of binary. He ran until the sound of her voice faded behind him, until the world ahead opened into stormlight. The rain here wasn't water, it was voltage. It sizzled across his skin, each drop a spark of stored emotion. With every strike he saw fragments of her, eyes, hands, the curve of her smile. Voltage Bay. That's what the locals called it, though there were no locals anymore, just the static remnants of what they once were. Somewhere beyond the storm, a pulse called to him. He didn't know if it was real, or if it was the system trying to lure him home. But he knew the truth now. The maze had not been the end. It had only been the door. He turned his face toward the storm and walked into the rain.